Good evening, good evening, my brothers and sisters. How are you doing this beautiful evening? Come on in, come on in. Your brother Tony is in the house. It is dinner time, so come on, get some of that good food for your soul. I hope that you're hungry, my brothers and sisters. Come on in, come on in, and come on in. While you're coming in, brothers and sisters, go ahead and invite some more family members and friends to the dinner table. If this is your first time at the dinner table, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Tony M. Toomer, and I talk about relationships. I talk about relationships basically from a spiritual point of view. When I say spiritual point of view, I strongly believe in the type of relationship that God intended for it to be. When you go to the book of Genesis, it's a pattern of how God wanted a relationship to be. God desired for him to have a unique relationship with a man. God desired for himself to have a unique relationship with a woman. God' desire was for a man and a woman to have a good, successful relationship with one another. God desired for a man and a woman to include him into the relationship. Why did God desire for a man and woman to include him into the relationship? Because God is the one that created the relationship. So what better source can a man or woman go to than to go to God for how a relationship should be and the pattern of how it should be carried out? That's what I'm here to talk to you all about tonight, my brother and sister. Now, if you don't agree with the type of relationship from a biblical standpoint, when you look at how it's documented in our book of Genesis, you have what is called a free will. You can do whatever you choose to do, but if you're here at the dinner table, I specifically talk about a relationship of that between a man and a woman that has God as the foundation or rock in a relationship. Excuse me, you may hear a plane flying over, but I don't have no control over that, but we're still going to eat some good dinner tonight, okay? So we're about to get into something on good that's on the menu, and I hope you, brother and sister, I hope that you have an appetite for it. Like I said a little earlier, go ahead and invite some more family members and friends, and there will be some people that may be coming in. Uh, hey, the dinner table is always filled up. So we do not run out of good food for the soul. So if this is your first time, come on in, sit close in. And you, my brother, and you, my sister, also the guest, if you have something to say, you can say it. By the way, I talk on two different platforms. I talk on the book and I talk on the tube. Those of you that on the tube in the comment section, you may not see those in the what from the book, and vice versa. Those of you on the book, you may not see what those on the tube say, but we're all family here. That's right. We're brothers and sisters here, and we're going to feast on this good food tonight at the dinner table. How you doing, Sister Tierra? Welcome to the dinner table tonight, and thank you, sister, for coming in so you can get some of that good food for your soul. Now, on the menu for tonight, we are going to embark on the topic 7 signs of a dead end relationship. 7 signs of a dead end relationship. Now, my brothers, now, my sisters, just think about being in a relationship, brother. Think about being in a relationship, sister, that appears to be coming to an end, or it has already come to an end. But you're still, for some whatever reason it is, you're still together as a couple. Now the question is, should you stay or should you leave? This is the question. How you doing, Sister India? Should you stay or should you leave? Welcome to the dinner table, Sister India. Now, we are going to really get into it. I'm going to leave it up to you, but I'm going to go over 7 signs that a relationship have come to an end. But before we get to that, this is very important. We're going to go to God's word first, just the appetizer. As it is written in Amos 3:3. As it is written in Amos 3:3. That's Amos 3:3 from God's word. It says, how can two walk together unless they are agreed. That's what God's word said. How can two walk together unless they agree? Now, when it comes to a dead end relationship, apparently there's no agreement. You see, I want you to understand this, my brother and sister. In a relationship where there's confusion, you need to listen to me carefully. God is not in a relationship, because the Bible clearly say that God is not the author of confusion, but of peace. That's what God. So if you happen to be in a relationship where there's confusion, God is not in a relationship, because God is about peace. How you doing, Sister Parker? Sister Parker said, I have been down that road. I'm glad I'm on a different path, even though it hurts bad. Yes, sister, it hurt bad. But guess what, sister? Joy come in the morning. You're going to get over it and you're going to get through it. I guarantee you're going to get over it and get through it. And guess what, Sister Parker? You just don't know about how good God is. God has a ram in the bush for you, sister. Sometimes relationships come to an end and we may hurt. We may have made decisions that got ourselves into a relationship. For example, I have been in a few relationships where I did not seek the counsel of God, and I was doing it about me, myself, and I messed myself up. I don't blame any woman for any mishap when a relationship came to an end, because I willfully got into the relationship. I seen some signs, but I ignored the signs. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. There was some signs that I ignored. And I seen it, but I ignored it. And brother and sister, I know better than you. But thank God I got through it. And thank God, my brother and sister, you can get through it too. Now, the word dead end. When we look at the word dead end, the word dead end is clearly defined as a situation that has no hope or making progress. Again, if you really want to know what dead end means, you have an idea of dead end, but when you look at the dictionary, you got to listen to it. It is defined as a situation that has no hope or progressing. The key word is no hope. There are some of you brothers and sisters right now, you are going through a dead end progress. You're going through it right now. There are some of you, you're not even going through it. You are already in it. You have accepted the dead end, and for whatever reason, you still there, which make no sense. You're still in a dead end relationship, and it still doesn't make no sense. Now, when it comes to a dead end relationship, there are some good actors and there are some good actresses when it comes to dead end relationship. How you doing, Sister Teresa Thomas? Welcome to the dinner table tonight, sisters. Now, for the best actor of the year, when it comes to the movie Dead End Relationship, the Oscar go to whoever you are, brother. And now, for best actress, the Oscar goes to whoever you are, sister, because when it comes to a dead end relationship, they look good on the outside, my brother and sister. There are so many relationships, my brother and sister. They look good for the public. They look good on pictures. They look good on social media. They look good. They look good. They look good. How you doing, Sister Flo? Welcome to the dinner table. But their relationship is full of dead man bones. There are some relationship, if you go to a cemetery, that's how some relationship look. The grass and everything is beautiful and green and everything, but as you know, at a cemetery, you got full of dead men and dead women's bones that are dead, that are buried. And that's how a lot of relationships are. They look good on the outside, they manicured on the outside, but the relationship is dead. Now, some of you are wondering, Tony, what are you talking about when it comes to a dead end relationship? I'm glad you asked. Now, I'm going to expound to you, my brothers, I'm going to expound to you, my sister, not explain, but expound to you some of the signs of a dead end relationship and what it looks like. How you doing, Sister Sherry Smith? Welcome to the dinner table. Now, number one, what does a dead end relationship look like? Someone ignored the red flags at the beginning of the relationship. That's right. Someone at the beginning of the relationship ignored some red flags. Someone had unrealistic expectations at the beginning of the relationship. Someone probably seen the red flag, but someone on a subconscious level thought that he or she can change that person when they get into a relationship. Don't you know, my brother and sister, there are some men and women, they be dating, and they think when we get married, he or she gonna change, or I could change him. But what they don't realize is this: no man can change a woman. No woman can change a man. Even a man and woman cannot change his or herself for the best. The only way a man and woman going to change his or herself for the best is have a relationship with God through his son, Jesus Christ. That's the only way a man and woman going to be at their best, when they have a relationship with Christ. Outside of Christ, that man and woman will be going through what we call the motion. So at the beginning of the relationship, there was some red flags. Let me give you some examples of some red flags. There was a lot of lying at the beginning of the relationship. Somebody caught somebody lying a lot, but you kept letting it slide. You thought that the person was going to eventually tell the truth. Don't you know, my brother and sister, as it goes, when you tell a lie, what you got to tell another lie. You got to build that card house. You have to put a lie on top of a lie on top of a lie, and you have to hope that that lie look good. That's what some do. They lie at the beginning of the relationship. They're very deceitful, and someone seen it, but they didn't see it. They thought that the person was going to eventually change into truth. They thought that they could slip some truth serum in the person food or drink. That's what they were thinking. But as time went on, that liar got worse a liar. Here's another example. That man or that woman was dating other people while they was dating you. And you thought when y'all got together that he or she was going to stop. But when you thought he or she was going to stop, you heard them saying that several times, I'm going to stop. But you catch them doing the same thing. You catch them talking to someone else. You see a text. They hide the telephone. They do all kinds of stuff. When you're in front of them, they were doing stuff like this. When you be sitting right by them, they would, like if you sit on this side, they would make sure that the phone is tipped this way, or you don't on that side, they'll tip it this way. They get up. When the phone ring, they get up and go into another room, all that kind of stuff. You thought it was going to stop, right? You were getting little bits of the red flag, but you ignored them. Those are a few examples of you ignored the red flag and you thought that person was going to change. Even up to the day you say, I do. And shortly after the day, and he or she, they probably did that stuff on your wedding day. They probably did it leading up to the wedding day. They did it on the wedding day when you went to sleep, or they probably went somewhere else and made that call or something like that to that other person. They were no good then because they didn't have Christ in their life. And what makes you think they're going to get any better? Number two, somebody tried to make an unequal yoke relationship to work. There's no way, my brother. There's no way, my sister. If you are a Christian and that man or woman is a man or woman of the word, there's no way you can make unequal yoke become equal. You can't do it. And here's an illustration. I have used this illustration before. What is a yoke? A yoke is like a little wood contraction. Before before farmers had a tractor, they would normally get 2 oxen. The 2 oxen normally be the same height, and they have this wooden thing between their necks. So you have an ox right here, you have an ox right here, and you have a little wooden thing that goes around their neck, right? That's a yoke. But the oxen be about the same height and basically have the same strength. So what the farmer do, the farmer follow behind them, and the ox pull that contraction and it break the ground, right? But an unequal yoke relationship look like this. You have an ox that's this high, and then you have a thoroughbred horse. It's not going to work because the horse is this tall and can run faster. The ox is this short but stronger. So what you going to get? One of them neck going to get broke. Either the horse going to break the ox neck, or the neck, or the ox going to break the horse neck, the thoroughbred, because they are unequally yoked. And that's how some men and women are. They are unequally yoked, trying to make it work. It's not going to ever work if you're unequally yoked. Number 3, someone didn't understand the relationship priority list or ladder of a relationship. Again, someone did not understand the relationship priority list or the ladder of the relationship. What do I mean by that? An ungodly man or ungodly woman, they do not know this knowledge. And you all familiar with it. It's plain and simple to those of you that know God. And it's simple recipe. God is the head of Christ. Christ is the head of man. Man is the head of woman. That knowledge is not in the average knowledge of a man or woman of the world. They probably never heard of it before. In order for a relationship to work from God's point of view, He given you a priority. God the Father first, His Son Jesus, the man, and the woman. That's the order of a relationship. And when I say the order of relationship, I'm talking to a man that's a Christian, and he's betrothed or moving towards getting married to a woman, or he's already married. That's how it is. Most men and most women, they do not have their mates as the second most important personal thing in their life. When a man gets into a relationship with a woman and he's a Christian, when a woman gets into a relationship with a man and she's a Christian, this particular knowledge both should know. The man know that no one comes before his wife other than Jesus himself. There's no other people or person or thing that come before his wife. The woman that's a Christian, she knows that no one or nothing or person come in front of her husband but Jesus himself. This also goes for, you got to understand this, some of you brothers and sisters, you already had children before you married the person. And this is something that you need to understand. Brother, if you had children before you met this woman, sister, if you had children before you met this man, your spouse come before your children, even though you had them beforehand. So that's hard for some of you all to embrace. Now, some of you that have children together, you may understand it, but if you already come into a relationship, brothers and sisters, as a package deal, you got to understand you could love your children. But when you get married and you want to do it God's way, brother, if you already have children, your wife get promoted in front of your children. Sister, your husband get promoted in front of your children. That doesn't mean you love them less. It's called priority. You understand? Brothers, those of you that got this mama complex where the umbilical cord have not been cut from your mama, your wife come before your mama or your mother. You understand that? Some of you brothers, you believe in that stuff that Tupac used to say. Tupac said, there's not a woman that a liar can take my mama place. as far as his mother, that's right, because he had one mother. But if Tupac would have got married, his wife was supposed to come before his mother in position. You understand? So an ungodly man or ungodly woman will not understand that priority. So what I'm telling you, my brother, let me tell you this, my sister, there are some men and women right now. This is part of the red flag part, that when you got into a relationship with that person, you already seen that that person put other people and things before you. What make you think that he or she was going to change when you got engaged or you got married? That's a red flag that you were avoiding. Right now, there are some married people right now that the husband complained that his wife have other people and things in front of him. There are some women that complain that her husband have other people and things in front of her. You know what that means? That means that God is not in the relationship. God is not in a relationship. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but if a man and woman does not understand priority relationship, God is not in a relationship, because it all comes down to this. God is not the author of confusion, but peace. God is a God of order. Satan is a God of the small G-O-D. He's the God of this system, which means he doesn't see things going. Satan sees a relationship as chaos and confusion. So I'm telling you again tonight, my brother and sister, if you know someone that got confusion in a relationship, the Lord is not in the relationship. If you are in a relationship, my brother, sister, with a man or woman, and there's a whole bunch of confusing relationship, God is not in your relationship, because if God in a relationship, God will bring peace through that man and through that woman. He will unite them together. Sister Moore said Tupac did get married, and her name was Keisha. They weren't married long. That interview that she done here on YouTube. Okay, well, Tupac mama was still gonna be number one in his life, because according to his song, he said, "There's not a woman alive that could take my mama's place." You know what? I love my mama, or my mother. For some of you, I love my mother. I love my mother, Barbara Toomer. I love my mother. She will always be my mother. That relationship will never change. I love my mother. I love my mother. But when I got married to her, she got promoted in a higher position than my mother. You understand? When I married her, that doesn't mean she was better than my mother. That doesn't mean my mother was better than her, because my mother had flaws and had flaws. My wife had and had flaws. It's this. I understood the priority. The priority was I have to my wife goes before how you doing A1K? Oh, okay, your mama named Barbara too. We got that in common. Amen, amen. I understood the priority. When I got married to my wife, to Quessa, but you all know her as Cinderella, because some of you all be messing up her name. Just call her Cinderella. When I got married to Cinderella, she was promoted. While we were seeing one another, she was not promoted. You understand? She was not promoted. When she walked across that graduation thing and she got her diploma, what is the diploma? The married license. When she got her married license diploma, she graduated. She took that tinsel, whatever you want to call it, and she did just like that. She got promoted. She got promoted to a high position in my life. I love my mother. I love my children. I love my siblings, my sister and brother, and brothers and sisters, spiritual speaking too. I love my friends. I love some of my hobbies. I have healthy hobbies, but everything that I just list does not come up for my wife. The only person, the thing that come up for my wife is Jesus. And guess what? If it came down to my wife and Jesus, I would choose Jesus over my wife. You understand? I would choose Jesus over my wife. Jesus, my wife can give me what Jesus can give me, and neither can I give her what Jesus can give her. And I understood that concept, but I still love my mother. But in my thinking, whatever I think, my brother and sister, I have to, this is how I have to think. And this is how every man and woman have to think when you say I do to one another. When you're thinking, you first you think about how would this look? I'm representing God. That's how you brother and sister got to think. I'm representing God. So if I say this or do this, how would it represent God? And not only how would it represent God, you got to look at it. How would it look? How would it bear on my mate? So when whatever you say and whatever you do, my brother and sister, some people say your family, but your family come first, meaning the Lord first. And if you in a serious committed covenant relationship with your mate. So when you think, you got to think how it's going to affect God, your relationship with God, and how it's going to affect your relationship with your mate before anybody else. You understand? Anybody else. Now we move it to number 4. Someone decided that I'm going to do me. That's right. Someone decided I'm going to do me. What does that mean? I'm going to be me, myself, and I. At the beginning of the relationship, you knew that that man or woman was selfish. You knew that that man and woman had a narcissist personality. You knew that that person thought that the world revolves around him or her. So you're supposed to orbit around him or her. I don't know what's going on. It shows some planes flying over here tonight. I don't know what's going on out there. If you hear boom and I go away, I love you, my brother and sister. If you hear a boom, I hope that Russia ain't over here or nothing like that. But anyway, back to the story. It's all about me, myself, and I. Somebody thought that when I got married to that person, he or she would become more we, us, and our. If that person wanted me, myself, and our before, if that person wanted we, us, and our before you got together, what make you think he or she gonna change their concept, their mental concept, and change it? The only way a selfish person could change his or her way is only Jesus. He or she can't change their way. If they change their way without Jesus, they're changing it, but it's not true. They still got it in them, and they want something or need something from you, but it's not really them. So the only way a man and woman could have the concept of we, us, and our, that is a given personality. If you got with someone that's a taker and Jesus is not in the mix, he or she going to always be a taker. If you got with a giver, he or she going to be a giver. Because what Jesus said, you could tell a tree by the fruit that it bears. Jesus said you could tell a good tree only bears good fruit. He also said a bad tree only produces bad fruits. No good tree produces bad fruits, and neither does a bad tree produce good fruits. Sister Cheryl said, we bind that up in Jesus' name. Someone might have started their new year early. I'm glad you said that, Sister Cheryl, because I'm about to say something similar to what you're talking about. For example, there's a major holiday coming up this weekend. There's a major holiday coming up this weekend. And we know it's more than about this man that called himself Santa Claus. That's supposed to be going all over the world. Let me say something right now, my brother and sister. Christmas time, if you got little children or grandchildren, stop lying to your children and grandchildren about this thing called Santa Claus. Stop lying to them, because you want your children or grandchildren to tell the truth, but you still lying to them about this little man that's supposed to come down the chimney or fly all over the world, and they say he know what's naughty or nice. He know everything. So if this man called Santa Claus know everything, you put him on the same level of God. Only God knows everything. So stop lying to your children about this little man that got this red suit on that fly around the world. Stop lying to them, because when they do lie to you after the Christmas season, you're going to get pissed off. You're going to want to knock them across the head or whip them and say, stop lying to me. But you've been lying to them about this Santa Claus. Let me stop. I will get off the topic. Let me get back to the topic. This weekend, basically, you're supposed to think about Christ not only quote unquote Christmas time, but every day. Okay, every day. This particular season, my brother and sister, this is one time during the year besides Thanksgiving where more than likely you're going to see some of your family members and friends, because during the course of the year, you may be working a lot or whatever, but this is a time where it's family time. Speaking of family time, there are some men and women that are in a dead-end relationship. They don't even want to participate with their mate family time. They will go to their family separate, or they'll go to their friends separate. And this is supposed to be a time where a man and woman get together. But it's a dead-end relationship. That should tell you something, my brother and sister. If I'm talking about, if a man and woman, you supposed to be in a serious committed covenant relationship, but you don't even want to be with your mate around this family time situation. You don't even want to do that. And that tell you, my brother and sister, that man or woman doesn't love you. He or she doesn't love you. Because if it comes to love, love brings people together. Love always brings people together. Hate divide people. They say it's a thin line between love and hate. That's a lie. It's a big, how shall I say it? How shall I say this? Let me reckon how I say it. If you all have been to the Grand Canyon, that's an example of the separation of how big love and hate is. There's not no thin line between love and hate. There's a big space between love and hate. Okay. So that is a clue. If you don't know it, and you should have got some of that at the beginning, that's another red flag that you ignored. At the beginning, here, you and that person probably got together. Then often known, he or she want to do things separately a lot. There's nothing wrong with doing some things separate. But if you're supposed to be in a serious committed and covenant relationship, this is a time where you all should be together. It is. It should be a time where you all get together, not he does his thing and you do your thing. But there are a lot of relationships, my brother and sister, that goes through this. Number 5, someone has the attitude, I don't care what you do, as long as you don't bring it home. That's it. I don't care what you do, as long as you don't bring it home. What does that say? Whatever you're doing out there in the streets, long as it don't affect what's in this house, because it's not a home, it's a house. Don't bring it here. You can do whatever you want to do, but don't bring it here. That is a dead-end relationship. That is a case of roommates, my brother and sister. When it gets down to that, that's roommates. And let me tell you what roommates do. Sometimes roommates, they start off where they were in a serious committed and quote unquote covenant relationship, right? So they used to be in the bed together. They were in the right type of relationship, right? But then one of them decide to go move on the other side of the house. And the only time that man and woman talk is only when necessary. Other than that, like I always say, it's wintertime in that house. When they walk by each other, they won't even say good morning. They won't say good evening. They won't say nothing. When one of them go to work and come in, they don't say nothing. They could pass through and whatever. They don't say nothing unless they have to. If they like in the kitchen together, they don't say nothing. They want to go here, want to go there. When it comes to going somewhere simple as dinner, he does his thing, she does her thing. They just have a separate life, which is a sign of the devil. It's a sign of the devil. Because like I say, God always bring people together. He's love. It's about togetherness. With the devil, it's about separation. Number 6, someone doesn't care how they talk or treat you privately. And they definitely don't care how they treat you public. Have you ever seen it, my brother and sister, where there could be a man and a woman, and it started in their house, not their home. It started in their house. They disrespect one another in their house. And just let's say they go out together. Let's say they go to a party or something together. They start a big argument in public. They are a spectacle. They cuss each other out, or one of them cuss each other out. They disrespect one another badly. One of them get drunk and be belligerent, want to be the life of the party. You can go to someone else's party, but your mate take over the party and embarrass you, start fussing with people, start all that kind of crazy stuff. And then when you try to calm them down, they clown on you and both y'all start in it, going at it. A dead-end relationship. They don't care what happened private, and they definitely don't care public. They don't care. And if these two people go out in public, they may say something like this. Now, don't act up now. I go with you, but don't act up. And then when they get out there, they get a little 2-minute wine cooler, whatever, and what's in them come out. Because what a lot of the alcohol does, it loosen up your restraints. So they don't care about one another. They just don't love one another. They stand together, but there's no love there. Like that song, what Rose Royce song some years ago. Y'all remember that song by Rose Royce, Love Don't Live Here Anymore. What did that lady say? You abandoned me. Love don't live here anymore. By the way, y'all listen, go ahead and listen to that old school stuff. Love does not live here anymore. Number 7. Someone think I'm going to have my side dude or my side chick, but we could live as roommates. That's right. It gets so bad, they decide to live together. But he have his side chick, she have her side dude. They're not planning on getting a divorce or nothing. They're gonna just live in that miserable condition. And that goes along with whatever you do out there, don't brag in here. There's actually some relationship like that, my brother and sister. The man don't care about what his woman doing. She doesn't care about what her man doing. He doing his thing over there. She doing her thing over here. And I talk about when they are miserable. They are miserable, but they living together. They could be living together because like this pandemic stuff, they staying together for bills. They staying together for children, all kinds of crazy stuff, but they living a totally separate life. They don't do nothing together. I can go down some more things, my brother and sister, but let me tell you, God never intended for a man and a woman to live a miserable life with one another. God desired for a man and woman to be together in harmony, to walk together, like I said earlier. in God's word through the prophet Amos 3:3, Amos 3:3, Amos 3:3. How can two walk together unless they are agreed? That's how God would want a relationship to be between a man and a woman. But it can't be that way if God is not in it. God, if there's confusion in a house, I'm going to tell you, I hate to say to my brother and sister. I hate to say it. Thank you, Sister Cheryl. I hate to say to my brother and sister, if you got confusion in your house, somebody let Satan in the back door. Somebody let Satan in the back door. They're not saying that you won't have no problems. There go another airplane. There's 3 airplanes. This never happened before. I don't know what's going on. There's 3 airplanes. No bomb didn't drop. But anyway, my brother and sister, God never intended on a man and a woman living separate lives, and they're supposed to be in a serious covenant and committed relationship. That's not God's way. God is always about what? Togetherness. Satan about separation. It's 2 unique flips of the coin. You got the head and you got the tail. God is the head, Satan is the tail. So my brother and sister, especially those of you that are thinking about getting a serious, committed, and covenant relationship, look at other people and look at how they are started out. What makes you think you're going to be an exception to the rule? This is a quick review. Someone at the beginning, someone ignored the red flags at the beginning of the relationship. You seen them, but you ignored it. Number 2, you tried to make an unequally yoked relationship to be an equal yoked relationship. Number 3, someone did not understand the relationship priority or ladder in a relationship, meaning God is the head of Christ, Christ is the head of man, and man is the head of the woman. His woman. Number 4, someone decided I'm going to do me. It's all about me, myself, and I. I don't even know what we, us, and I was about. You knew about me and myself and I. You knew I was a narcissist before we said yes. You knew the world was supposed to revolve around me. What make you think the world gonna stop revolving around me? I'm the man, I'm the woman, so everything go around me. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you do, long as I'm happy. Because all about me, myself, and I. I don't even know what we, us, and I was about. I don't even know what the word team means. If I was on the team, pass the basketball to me, I want to shoot all the time. I don't want to pass the ball to nobody. I want the spotlight on me. Number 5. Someone had the attitude, I don't care what you do, long as you don't bring it here. I don't care what you do, long as you don't bring it here. Number 6, someone doesn't care about you privately or public. They don't care what happened. They will call you names. They will fuss. They will cuss in private as well as public. They don't care. They beyond care. They don't care about your feelings. They don't care about you. They don't care whether you hurt. They don't care. And you ain't about to get no sorry. They looking for you to tell them that you sorry. That's a classic narcissist. And the final part, he or she will live their life so separate where he got his woman, she got her man, but I'm not going to move. She's not going to move. He's not going to move. Hey, you pay that bill. I pay this bill. You sleep in that room. I sleep in that room. Don't bother me. That's our life. That's exactly what some people do. Never, my brother, never, my sister, put yourself in a situation like that. You do not deserve it. My brothers and sisters, before you get in a relationship, as I always say, always pray to God for God to lead you into the right relationship. Let God pick the person for you. Brother, let God bring the woman to you. Sister, let God cause the man to find you. And when everything is right, you would know it. You would not be confused, my brother, about the right woman. Sister, you will not be confused about the right man. You will not get a perfect woman, brother. Sister, you will not get a perfect man, but you can get the right man and the right woman. I hope that you all enjoyed the dinner table tonight. Thank you for coming, and take some of these carries out with you. If you're on the tube, like and subscribe and make your comments. If you on the book, I appreciate your comments and everything. And my brothers and sisters, those of you on the book, there's a little feature on there now. It's a star. Go ahead and tap that star or whatever. I'm not asking you for no money or nothing. Just tap the star. Even if you don't want to share your food with nobody, just tap the star. Okay. How you doing, Sister Love It? Just tap the star. My brother and sister, do not. Oh, by the way, Sister, I love it. Welcome to the damn time. My brother and sister, do not get into an unequally yoked relationship. Oil and water would never mix. It would never mix. A spiritual man or woman with an unspiritual, well, with a devil spirit man or woman, it would never work. Brother, sister, if you have the spirit of God, the only thing you're going to do if you try to make a relationship work with Satan, daughter, sister, you're going to compromise. And when you compromise, you're going to compromise to make that person happy. And you're going to disappoint God. It happened to Solomon. What make you think it won't happen to you? When Solomon had all those women, the Bible said they stole his heart away from God. When you with the wrong person and you're a Christian, they're gonna turn your heart away from God. You're not no exception to the rule, my brother and sister. You're not Superman or Superwoman. Even Superman had a weakness. And what was his weakness? Kryptonite. Don't let that man or woman be your kryptonite, my brother and sister. Wait on God for the right relationship, because you don't want to waste your time. You have a purpose in life. Your purpose, my brother and sister, is to lighten the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. I love you, brother. I love you, sister. You all take these care out plates with you and share with some more family members and friends. Okay, please do that. And Lord willing, I'll see you all another time. I love you. I love you. I love you. Peace out.